Hey y'all, welcome to Ryan and Robert Rants. Today we are continuing the Conjuring Universe Rank series. Robert, which one are we doing today?
We are doing The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. We can call it the final Conjuring film before the new one that's coming out, but we have made it. We are so close to the end of this rank series.
We did it, buddy. We're almost there.
Yeah, we're getting there,
The,
almost there.
the promised land, so to speak. Yes, as Robert said, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It is next up on the list. So, as always, in our previous rank series installments, we'll be doing a little plot synopsis at the beginning, our thoughts of what worked and what didn't work, and we'll do our out of 10 rating. And as always, we will be doing Robert's brainchild, the tier list. Where does The Conjuring 3 subtitle The Devil Made Me Do It exclamation mark apostrophe S? Where does it rank? So, Robert, would you like to do well before we jump into that? I do want to preface that we are going to spoil this movie as we have done in the previous entries as well. So if you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. Come back, continue on the journey with us. You have been forewarned. Also, because I remember tonight, because I kept forgetting on all the other ones, Robert, how did you watch this movie?
I had a digital copy of this on. Well, no, actually, no. This one, me and my girlfriend watched it at her house. I think she had a digital version on um, her TV.
Oh, okay. Nice,
Yeah.
nice. This one was another HBO Max night for me. And now we can say HBO
Nice.
Max again.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
yeah,
can't log into HBO Max because I have a free HBO Max through AT&T, and I couldn't log into my account on her TV. But thankfully, she already had like a digital version of it.
nice, nice. But yes, I digress. That is how we viewed it. Robert, would you like to do the plot synopsis?
Yes, I can. So this film begins in 1981. Demonologists Ed and Lorraine Warren, once again played by Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, they are documenting the exorcism of an 8-year-old boy by the name of David Glatzel. And everyone that's present is the family. His mother's his father, or his mother, father, his sister Debbie, Debbie's boyfriend Arnie Johnson, and Father Gordon. And this is all taking place in the town of Brookfield, Connecticut. But during this exorcism, it plays out like a typical exorcism scene. They strap the child down, trying to perform whatever the rites, or all that typical exorcism stuff. But anyways, it kind of gets a little crazy than normal, and Arnie, the boyfriend, invites the demon into enter his body to basically free David. He's playing that heroic boyfriend, I guess future brother-in-law type thing. But anyways, Ed, during this whole process, Ed witnesses that the demon transports itself from David's body into Arnie, and the demon Ed ends up suffering a heart attack, and it's kind of like suggested that it's the demon that caused it. But yes, Ed does suffer a heart attack, and it kind of gets taken to the hospital in kind of a comatose state. But the following month, because I guess a month takes place, I don't know if it actually said a month later, but I could be wrong. Could have been something I missed. But yes, a month later, Ed wakes up at the hospital and reveals to Lorraine that he did witness the demon transferring from the boy into Arnie. She sends the police to the kennel because Arnie and Debbie, they live above a kennel, in an apartment kind of above the kennel. I think she works for the kennel, and I think Arnie kind of does some odd jobs around for the landlord who owns the kennel, the dog pound, whatever it is. But yes, anyways, after feeling unwell, Arnie ends up murdering his landlord, Bruno. Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno.
No, no, no.
Had to throw that in there. But anyways, he ends up stabbing Bruno 22 times. Anyways, basically under the influence of this demonic possession, but with the support of the Warrens, this case kind of becomes the first American murder trial to claim demonic possession. This is based on a true story. I did look it up a little bit. Well, like most short stories, this movie does take a little liberty with it, but you can look it up. This did take place in the 80s. I believe it's still Arnie and all that other stuff. So if you want to, feel free to look up the real trial. But so basically, the Warrens discover that there's a satanic curse passed on through a witch's totem, and they meet with a Father Kastner, and was it John Noble? I believe his name is right.
I believe
Played by John
so.
Noble.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes, Kastner.
Man, such a great actor. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, he's a former priest who previously has dealt with a group called the Disciples of the Ram Cult. He tells them that an occultist had intentionally left the totem, resulting in the creation of a curse on the Glatzels, causing the possession of the boy David. The Warrens travel to Massachusetts. Danvers, Massachusetts. I don't know why I was struggling with that, but anyways, their research ends up leading them to another particular case that was also leaning towards a witch's totem and this cult. So they go to investigate the death of a character or a person named Katie Lincoln, who was also stabbed 22 times, basically the same MO that we have with Arnie. The detectives there had also found the totem in the home of Katie's friend Jessica, who is, still currently missing. Spoiler alert, Jessica ended up stabbing Katie Lincoln 22 times. Um, because, yeah, Lorraine, does her thing. She ends up initiating a vision to recreate the murder and discovers that Jessica stabbed her friend under the influence of, again, this demonic possession. And she ended up like running away. Like she ends up recreating the scene, and it goes all the way towards like a cliff face where we learn that Katie jumped basically into the river water reservoir type thing that it was. This led the detectives to finally discover the body of Katie. Katie, Jessica, doesn't
Just,
matter. Doesn't matter.
yeah, they're interchangeable.
Don't matter. Although one of them was played by the chick that was in The Nun, James
uh,
Wan's wife.
yes, I was
I
like,
think it was
Mrs.
the one that
James
was
Wan,
stabbed. Yeah, the one that was
Jessica.
stabbed, right? I think it was Jessica.
Yeah, she's the
Uh,
one that killed Katie, and she's the one
yeah,
that jumped off because she was like,
yeah, yeah,
oh.
yeah. But yeah, so they end up finding the body and they take the body to the morgue, or the funeral home, whichever you want to, interchangeable, small town, probably the same building. The
Yeah.
Warrens end up traveling to this, funeral home, and this is where
Which is
Lorraine
freaking huge, by
touches.
the way. Sorry to
Massive,
interrupt
no,
you. That thing
massive.
was huge.
Small town.
Yeah, I could put the autopsy of Jane Doe mortuary funeral home thing to shame.
But yeah, Lorraine touches the hand of the corpse to, kind of trying to find the location of this cultist because she thought there might have been a connection. In this vision, Lorraine travels through a dark tunnel and witnesses the occultist attempting to have Arnie kill himself. Basically, that's a pact with the demon to have, I don't know, I guess the possessed kill themselves in order to bring the demon to the mortal plane, whatever.
Yep.
Anyways, when Lorraine kind of comes to, she ends up telling Ed that the connection works both ways. So if Lorraine can see what the occultist sees, the occultist can also see what Lorraine sees, and this comes back towards later on in the film. After this, the Warrens return to their house in Connecticut to investigate everything further, both cases. Ed does lose consciousness briefly, and he ends up becoming under the influence of this occultist because, again, it works both ways. What they learn about her, she learns about them. Basically, she makes Ed kind of go into a possession where he tries to kill Lorraine, but and he ends up getting stopped by Drew, who, in my opinion, is the low-key MVP throughout this whole franchise. Uh, Consistency.
Agreed.
Yeah, they end up later finding the totem in their house, which was hidden inside a vase of black roses that was delivered earlier that day. Drew gives them a book. It's called the Book of Strigarian. I'm probably butchering that, but it's called the Book of Strigarian. We'll go with that. It's a witchcraft that he found, gave to Ed, and it states that in order for the curse to be lifted, the altar in which the occultist operates must be destroyed. When they realized Katie attended nearby Fairfield University, they began to assume the cultist is operating in kind of a local area. Lorraine returns to Father Castor for help, and he reveals that he had raised a daughter named Isla. I'm dyslexic
Uh,
today, apparently.
Ilsa.
Um,
Ilsa.
yeah, but it's whatever. It doesn't matter. Um, basically, in violation of the requirement of clerical celibacy in the Catholic Church, so he violated, and he kind of saw that twist coming, though. If you're really being honest with yourself,
Yeah,
he ends up telling,
it's really bad twist.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, John Noble's a great actor, but he plays. I don't want to say shady really well, but he plays. He
Oh
plays.
no, what? He was the bad guy
I
all
know,
along?
right? I don't want to say like evil,
Typecast?
but I mean, yeah,
If there's gonna be a
evil.
shady villain that emerges out of the shadows, it's gonna be John Noble.
It's good. Yeah, it's
It's
gonna
gonna
be
be
John Noble.
played by John Noble.
Even in Fringe, he played in the like Shades of Grey area,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, hardcore
which
shades of
borderline
gray.
was, immoral. Anyways, and Father Kastner ends up telling Lorraine that during his research, his daughter's fascination, Ilsa, for the occult grew, later becoming the occultist for this movie. Father Kastner gives Lorraine access to the tunnels where she locates the altar and is then found by the occultist, who then, the occultist kills Father Kastner. Basically, commits patricide, kills her father.
Yeah.
Ed soon arrives. So this, anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. Ed soon arrives and finds his way to the tunnels through a locked drain hole with a sledgehammer. He is briefly possessed by the demon again and attempts to kill Lorraine again, but she retells the story of how I think it was their first date. I think he was a ticket teller at a movie. I think that's how they met.
Yeah.
They ends up like walking home, and it starts raining, and they stayed up underneath like a gazebo until it stopped. It was actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
um, yeah, it was kind of a nice little. That's a good first date. Anyways, Ed regains his consciousness and destroys the witch's altar, basically saving Lorraine and Arnie. The occultist arrives at her broken altar only to be killed by the demon she had summoned, basically because she failed to complete the curse of having someone, I guess, kill themselves. Uh, yeah, I mean, I guess Arnie can commit murder, but it doesn't fully happen until their demon can't fully come in until he kills himself. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. It's weird
Anyways,
rules.
yeah. Anyways, after that, the film kind of goes into like the last part of the trial where Arnie is convicted of manslaughter, but he ends up only serving 5 years of his sentence. In prison, he ends up marrying Debbie. I believe it said they are still together to this day, which is good on them. She stuck by her dude. That's wife material right there. Ed ends up placing the altar in a room with the artifacts. The same room we've seen throughout the whole franchise. And then at the end, Ed is kind of guiding Lorraine kind of like into their backyard. And then he ends up showing her, I guess he had a replica of that gazebo built in their backyard or somewhere. I think it's in their backyard.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, basically reminding them of like their first date and kind of where they fell in love. And that was kind of like how the movie ended.
Good summary, dude. Good
Thank you.
summary.
Thank you.
But
Only got
yeah.
sidetracked a little bit.
Well, nah, but it ties into it. It ties in, especially with what we're
Yeah.
getting ready to talk about. Which, speaking
Yeah.
of, Robert, what worked for you?
I mean, I feel like I'm beating the dead horse on what worked and what didn't work. But I mean, obviously, Ed and Lorraine, Patrick Wilson, Vera Farmiga again. I mean, they shine. They hold up this franchise, even in the movies that they're not in. You feel their absence.
Yes,
Um,
you
and I mean, their chemistry is only growing, and it's great. It's a testament to both them and how they're written. I still think, even with James Wan's departure, they were still able to capture the chemistry between the Warrens. And I mean, again, you see that in the backstory of, they're like, the time, their first date, whatever it was, being stuck under that gazebo, and then we get it at the end. So I think that's like a testament of both the actors and how these characters are written. There is one. So again, this is a new director. James Wan didn't direct. I don't know if he had anything to do with the story. I mean, I know he gets a writer's credit for helping create the characters and but
So he did
story by,
Story
so
by James Wan.
it's probably just a small treatment or something. I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Here's an
again, I don't know
idea. The
his.
Warrens show up. Okay,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
up to
Or
the
he'd be
rest.
like, hey, the case of Arnie, that's what we want. Now it's up to y'all.
Go.
Yeah. I gave you the backdrop. It's up to you. But yeah, he did not return to the director's chair for this. But I will say that there is one choice, and I don't know if if it's only in this film or if it's in the other ones, but in the scenes where it's mostly dark, almost like pitch black, there is something that they do with the character's eyes. And I don't know if you've noticed it, but it's like I don't know if it's special contacts or if it's a lighting choice, but you don't see hardly any like contours of the character, but the eyes is kind of like glowing a little bit. And it's like with Ed, Lorraine, Father Kastner, and even the cultists. I don't know if it's a lighting thing, if that was unintentional, but I thought it was kind of a really cool effect in a movie where the jump scares don't exactly land in this one, or kind of like the atmospheric tension doesn't is not quite up to the first two movies, where I felt like if it was a choice, that choice of kind of like focusing their eyes, like where it's like literally just pitch black and you just kind of see like a pinprick of a glowing like for their eyes. I thought it was a good choice to kind of build up some suspense and tension. But again, I don't know if that was intentional or not. But I thought it was a cool effect. I don't know. I just liked it. It
Huh,
wasn't
I didn't
overused or anything.
notice. I
Really?
didn't notice that.
Yeah. I don't know if it was just me. I mean, it could have just been the room I was watching. It was pitched. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you
But
definitely from saying that you made me want to actually go back and check that out. Especially like you just said, we director New Reigns, Michael
yeah,
Chaves. This is technically his second swing on the bat because his first entry was Curse of La Llorona. Then it was this one, and then he did Shocker, The Nun 2. And if I remember correctly, he's also doing Last Rites.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, look, at least they obviously liked what he's doing with the franchise.
Yeah.
Um, Someone is. I mean, okay, look. Anyways, I do like. I think the actor playing Arnie, which I don't know his name. Let me just look it up real quick. You
Oh
probably
my
have it
god,
up.
dude. I'm so glad you brought it up. Look it up, and then you're gonna have your mind freaking blown.
Let's see. There's Drew. What kind? There it is. That's an odd name. I don't think I see. Which one am I looking for?
You are looking for
I mean, I got him. I'm just
uh
not seeing
Julian.
Tinderface.
He's towards the top.
Oh, Sandman. Is it really?
No, no, no. Who are you looking up?
I was looking up the. Who am I looking up? For
David.
Arnie?
Oh, Arnie. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce
Oh,
his
who's the
name.
other one? You
I
want me to
thought
look
you were
up
talking about David, the little boy.
look at
The
Julian? Why does that name sound familiar?
click on it. You're gonna have your mind blown.
Oh, WandaVision. Really?
Billy Maximoff.
Yeah, Billy Maximoff.
But I also was like, he looks so
Why do you
familiar, and I
look?
was like, The Haunting of Hill House. He played young Luke.
Yeah.
That's why I was
Okay.
like, oh yeah. But then I never realized he was Billy.
Why did he look younger in WandaVision?
It's the I think it's the haircut.
Maybe.
Cause think about like, especially like in these other ones, he looks super young in this and
Yeah.
super young in Haunting of Hill House.
Oh, sweet. Good for him.
Yeah, because I was like, oh dang, that is him. I was like, what's up, man?
It's fun. How old is he now? Let's see. Because I want to say you the way it just says June, so he's still probably under 18. If they don't give a date on IMDb, if unless you're 18 or not.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, he could. I mean, the way these actors grow up, I'm like, you probably still could have cast him as Billy and Agatha. But I mean, I get the way that story went. I get how they had to
Age him
get
up.
a get a new actor too, because it was. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's the way that story plays out.
No, I honestly had like no intention of watching it either. I was
So,
just
anyways,
like,
he
eh.
he's Billy, but at the same time, he's not like Billy. It was like you know how she created her two children, but
Yeah.
then that whole hex thing disappeared. But like since she's able to warp reality, those kind of personas were able to like still attach themselves to real world people who were on the verge of death. So they were kind of like in limbo. If that
So
makes
they
sense.
possessed people?
Basically, yeah. But no, I mean he was good too. But I felt like the guy that played Arnie, um,
Dude, he could emote.
yeah, I mean it was really well like that. That's I think the scene from the trailer where he's just like, all walking
Walking.
away, and he's just
Just
like,
like
yeah. I mean,
in
I
that
I felt like
haze.
I felt like all the supporting cast did really well. Like credit to the actors, actresses involved, but I do feel there wasn't a whole lot for them to do outside of like I don't know. I felt like they could have developed them just a little bit more because after Arnie got arrested, it was just one thing after another of him being possessed. Which testament to the actor because he was pretty good in the role, but I just thought it was kind of a thin character to write or I guess to develop over the course of the film. Like they did really well setting them up, and then they kind of just became secondary plot to everything else later.
Yeah,
But
because
I
then
mean,
the
I could,
occultist takes like front and center from
yeah,
that.
yeah. But I'll get into that. I think more into what didn't work for me. But other than that, I mean, I think I covered what worked for me. I like the effect of the eyes in like those darkened scenes. I think there was one I wouldn't call it a jump scare, but one thing that was I think well done was the morgue scene with the big guy. That
Yeah.
was it was kind of funny in a sense, but I was like, yeah, it's kind of cool. But I thought that was pretty good. And then of course, the main actors. How about you? What worked?
So, what you said about first off the actors for Arnie, the actor for David, like phenomenal job. Like they did
Yes.
really good. They really stood out more than anything. Again, emotion in an actor in a horror movie or just a movie in general is just so nice to see.
From a
And
child
they
actor too.
yes, and they sell it especially when he's with Arnie and they go to visit him in prison or and then he's talking about what it felt like. And he was like, it's that feeling, like it's you're not alone, but you can hear it. And like just like he sells it with the emotion and the fear in his voice. But it's almost like he feels nothing too, like he's just hollow. Like when you're
Yeah.
hollow, like sort of like when you get caught off guard and you're just sort of like tunnel visioned. You're like, oh. Like it's
Yeah.
just the way that he sells that. It's just so good. That and then the possession scene, I guess you could say. I mean, he sells that really well too. Um, the first note that I took, the thing that I thought worked was that after the possession, the house is still jacked up with all the scratches and stuff like that on the wall. Um, one of my favorite scenes in the movie, the lawyer scene being convinced that
Oh
the
yes.
with the
That was a
possession,
good one.
that
Yeah.
pleading
I'm
possession.
and I'm glad they didn't show anything of them showing her. It just jump cut to the her
Yes,
just like
because she's just like,
freaked out.
and then it just cuts to her
I
like,
remember
like she's just
laughing.
like broke. He's like, why don't you come on over? We'll cook you some dinner, show you the room. You can meet Annabelle.
That
Freaking Annabelle.
was
But
good. That was a good part.
yeah, and that's actually that's what I wrote too. Yeah, the introducer to Annabelle, and then the immediate cut, and then the from her grinning to the hunched over in shock. Um,
Yeah.
There's a note that I wrote in addition to that, but it's gonna come back later into my what didn't work. But I'm just looking through real quick. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have as far as what worked for me. Robert, what didn't work?
Well, I'll start with saying, James Wan's presence is felt, or his lack of, him not directing this film. Actually, it's felt.
And missed.
Um, yeah. So I'll start with like kind of like the beginning. The story kind of jumps. I would so for me when I say they're like a tight script, it means there's no wasted like screen time, right? And this movie, I think, I don't know, it clocks in like maybe an hour and 50 minutes. I don't know what it is, 2 hours. It's not like, and I felt like there was a lot of kind of like wasted time, especially when the beginning exorcism was great. I don't know why I forgot to mention that, but that was a really good scene. And then we go from there because now we got to set up the rest of the film. We get like these crazy, like, or I wouldn't say crazy, but it's just like we get a short scene with Arnie and Debbie. We get to see them in their home life after everything they think is okay. And then we jump to the Warrens in the hospital for like 3 minutes, and then we jump back, and then we jump back to the Warrens, and it's just like a lot of jumping back and forth when you don't need it because and then once you see the Warrens again, it's like, okay, he wakes up and tells them, no, no, I saw the body. Like I felt like there was too much jumping back and forth between those two particular scenes. And I get it, you're trying to set up the story, but and it might work more in like novel format, but I think for a movie it doesn't work because you get a lot of that in a lot of like these thriller novels where it tells like perspective where you get like one character for like 2 pages, then another character for 2 pages, and it works that way and as you're reading it. But I think when you're watching it, I don't think it plays out as well as they thought it might have. There's that. I don't know. I feel like I think we brought this up in a previous conversation. I don't remember where it was. With um, the Exorcism of Emily Rose, how you think that movie's like a courtroom drama that has exorcists or whatever it was, and I felt like
Yeah, that it's
this
a
movie,
courtroom drama first and foremost, with elements of next horror themes. Like it's what I said
ooh,
about that in
headache.
The Exorcist is that first and foremost, it's a psychological thriller with horror elements and elements of possession that just happens to be occurring while this is actually the real focal point, and
Yeah,
it can be misconstrued, and it can also affect your viewing of the movie depending on the headspace that you go in with it. Were you gonna say
yeah.
that that's probably
No, I think this
some?
movie would have been better with the courtroom drama. So, I mean, I know I just got through saying with a lot of cuts, but I think if you tie in the plot of them going through the whole courtroom um aspect of it, of him on trial, then you cut in, the investigation and all this other stuff into it. I think this movie might it would have broke away from what the first two movies did, and I get why they chose this movie because I think James Wan did state, or it might have been another producer, but they wanted to get away from the haunted house aspect, right? So they chose this particular backdrop case for whatever. But I'm like, if you would have done more, I guess, with the courtroom and then interspersed with the investigation and the occultists and then how the Warrens played into it, I think you could have told a more of effective story. But as such, you kind of got like a bookended. We kind of see him in the beginning when it first happened, or like it's kind of like maybe 30, 40 minutes into the movie, and then we get the results of the trial at the end. Like there's no, you don't have that drama. And I think this movie was kind of lacking that drama because we just got a kind of a run of the mill detective story with somewhat, or I guess overall supernatural elements. And I don't think it kind of worked out. I mean, I think if you would have kind of included some courtroom drama, you could have cut off a little bit of the fat from that investigation. I think the movie would have played a little well, or at least it would have been different. than what came before, and I think you probably needed something to make it stand out. Because as it is, it's kind of it doesn't stand out. You lose James Wan's masterful like atmospheric tension that he brought to the first two films. I don't get that in this one. So I felt like if you would have done something different to increase the drama in sort of a different way, it could have worked. It could have worked in its favor. Um, as great as Patrick Wilson is, I felt like his character was not as like okay. They gave him a heart attack in the beginning, which they gave him something to do, basically limiting him throughout the whole movie, adding that sense of hey, he's kind of vulnerable, open to possession, I guess, because he has a weak heart now. I don't know. I felt like they just needed for him to do something in this film, and adding and I mean it's not nothing against Patrick Miller obviously because I felt like he's one of the cornerstones of this whole franchise, but other than that, because I mean he couldn't what he could yeah he was walking around with a cane, he couldn't like run after Lorraine when she's about to throw herself off a cliff during that kind of like whatever trance she was in, but there was just they needed something to give him to like add an extra layer to his character, and that was what they chose. I mean, I get it. All right, cool, sure, but I don't know. I thought it was kind of a I don't want to say ass pull, but it's kind of what it was.
Yeah. No,
But
no,
I mean,
that's a fair assessment on that.
yeah, and I feel like I'm going hard on this, but I felt like
No,
the
do it. Go hard,
occultist.
dude.
Well,
Go
no,
hard on it.
like overall, I enjoyed the movie. Like it was an okay movie. Obviously, it did not for me. It doesn't live up to the standard of the first two, and especially not the first one. But it's still a decent watch, right? I think people will enjoy this movie overall. But I also like the antagonist, the occultist, was kind of like not developed well. It kind of her whole backstory came in like short exposition toward the end. She didn't really seem all that developed throughout the whole film at all. So it's kind of a waste on that, especially if you're not gonna like make her stand trial. You know what I mean? Like she ends up
Yeah.
just getting killed by the demon. That's why I felt like this movie was just lacking an extra layer to the overall plot, and I felt like the courtroom drama might have added to it. But that's just I don't know. Maybe it's just me. How about you? What didn't work?
So I just want to say before anything else, you have sold me on a better movie. Like,
Well,
cause
thank you.
as you were saying that, I was like, dang, dude, like that just sounds like such a better movie to see it through the lens of a courtroom drama of
Considering the
them
high
cutting back and
profile
forth.
case this was in the 80s, like I think that would have been a
Yes.
decent version to tell. Even if you
Yes.
take some liberties, because I mean, I'm sure this movie took a lot of liberties. Most based on true stories movies do.
Yes. And it gives us the opportunity to get a southern lawyer in there. Your Honor, possession.
They're in Connecticut.
Still though, you know what I mean? They'll fly
You
one in,
need it.
we'll
Yeah,
get
fly one
a
in.
Don Johnson to reprise his accent from Django Unchained. Possession. But I think that would, having heard that, I'm just like, man, I hope somewhere in some universe, other universe, that movie exists and people are enjoying it. Because, yeah, through that lens, then the cutting back,
yeah,
plays out better, and then you can have it, because then it plays with, is this real? Is this not real? And like you said earlier, that's what the exorcism of Emily Rose does. It makes you question, did this really happen? Did it not? And then you're getting little elements throughout the movie and whatnot, so it makes you wonder. Like, and yeah, I think that would have been a better choice for that. Now, as far as what didn't work for me, um, and this is a pet peeve of mine. I've brought this up in the Nun. Check out our previous episode on that. The fades in the opening scene should have just been cuts. Make it more
yeah.
effective. Just cuts, like they're panning in and they're fading and then they fade back in, and they just keep doing that throughout the whole beginning. I'm like, no, I think it should just be hard cuts to that next scene. Give it that sense of, oh my god, like what happened? Or, like you said, the courtroom drama. Um, the CGI scratches on the wall at the beginning, it looks bad. It
Like you
looks
can
really
practically
bad.
do that, guys. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
Probably cost you less to do it too.
exactly. And it's just this is when it gets real janky with the camera and stuff like that. And they're doing I don't know if they're doing like a frame rate thing or something with it, but it looks really janky during the exorcism. I don't know why I wrote this, but I wrote in all caps subtitles Robert question mark. So I don't remember why I wrote that. But I did
I don't
write the
either.
fades. Oh, oh, I remember why. Subtitle Hill. Subtitles, Robert. The
Was there
Conjuring
subtitle? I don't know if.
the devil made me do it.
Oh, that's oh, dude, I wasn't gonna.
Yes.
I was gonna.
Yes.
No, I didn't want to bring it up, but yeah, I don't know why franchises start doing subtitles after the second movie. Speaking of pet thieves, I hate it. Just if you're gonna do subtitles, just do it after the first one, or I don't know, just don't do it at all.
So while we were talking about it, it made me
Just
think of something of why this had a subtitle and why Last Rites has a subtitle. These do not feel like continuations of The Conjuring. The Conjuring
yeah,
2.
these more individual.
It almost feels like a spin-off of The Conjuring. It's
Yeah,
like The Conjuring side adventure. Here's the side quest. The devil made me do it. Last rites. Like cuz I feel like if you were to tack on a 3, this is tying it directly to the second one and saying, "Hey, you thought the
yeah,
first was great, the second was amazing. Wait till number 3 comes out." And they didn't have faith maybe, and they were like, let's go subtitle.
yeah.
So that was one
I
of
can
the
see that.
things I thought, right? And like I
Yeah,
said, I put in all caps the fades. Just stop fading in movies. There's a time and place for a fade, but in these you just need a hard cut, like you said earlier with the scene with the attorney, with the lawyer. The boom, the cut right after when they
yeah,
talk about
and it's
like, let's see if you
effective.
believe. Yes, and it's played for laughs too, but like you said, that's the part. It's effective.
Yeah,
I'm laughing. Um, the music playing then slowing down was during the murder scene for Blondie. It's just it's a trope that's overdone already. I'm just no. The CGI cliff scene was really bad too.
yeah, that was all great. Yeah, it reminded me of the Thor Ragnarok with Loki and Thor. Just
Yeah,
you just know, like, come on, guys.
like we couldn't film this on a cliff. Like really. And then I have some general notes. The new WB logo makes an appearance. I'm not a fan of it. I have not been a fan of the new Warner Brothers logo, and especially that weird thing that they've been doing where they're with some of the newer ones where they pan in over the lot and then they show the water tower.
Mm,
Like it's just I'm not a fan. Just go back to the OG. Just
yeah,
don't mess with how it looks. Um, it does cut straight to Atomic Monster production really fast. The same with TSC and then fades. At the beginning of the movie, it's like, let's go. Let's go. Like they just want to get straight to the movie. Um they do start to make them look a little older in this one. The
which understandable because this is like
I
10 years after the first one.
almost said the Lorraines.
Hey, I told you it gets confusing after a while.
The
Try doing
Warrens.
this. Try doing the summaries for those. Ed and Lorraine Warren, like,
Ed Lorraine and
Ed,
Lorraine.
yes,
See our
told you,
previous
man.
episodes for more
That was
context on
episode
that.
one already from the
The
beginning.
OG.
I told you.
Father Gordon finally showing up and trying to give that homage to the Exorcist when he gets out of the
Oh,
car.
yeah,
Also, he finally shows up to do something in this movie instead of saying, well, the church can't get involved unless you know
yeah.
this and that. Because, I mean, it's pretty much the
I
only
figured
thing he's
after
good
like
for.
10 plus years, they'd be like, you know what? Just give the Warrens whatever they need.
Right. Another fade to black with, I put with the little boy David. Again, another fade to black. Disciples of the Ram, shout out from Father Gordon when directing the Warrens to seek assistance from Kastner. That was the same cult from Annabelle.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Yes.
So shout out from that. And then I have one final note. This one was actually for you. David's mom in the movie. Do you know who
Okay.
she is and what she's from?
Not off the top of my head. I don't even remember what she looks like, if I'm being honest. I'll look her up
Yeah,
though.
she's in there really
Miami, here we go.
fast. But
Oops. Oops, going down wrong tab. How we doing? Did I look good? I moved the Tiermaker on accident. Let me
oh,
know if
you're
that's
good.
good.
You're all good. We'll
What
take a
am I,
look at shortly.
what am I doing? I was looking at Debbie for some reason.
So it should be under Judy. Judy Glatzel.
It's Judy Warren. Charlene. Why does she look familiar?
Why does she look
Oh,
familiar,
that's
bro?
Wendy the waitress.
Yep, Wendy the waitress from How I Met Your Mother.
Yep.
I saw her and I was like, why does she look familiar? No, I looked her up and I was like, ah, hi Wendy.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like looking at her, I was like, I didn't see it on her IMDb photo, but one of the trailers on the next one like showed her like kind of up close. I mean, it's the trailer cycling, and then I was like, that I know that kind of smile after
Yeah.
watching How I Met Your Mother like so many times. She was in American Reunion.
Yeah, I saw that too. I don't remember who Ellie was in that movie, but I feel like I'm overdue for an American Pie thing, which maybe rank series in the future.
Now, are we gonna do all the American Pie movies, even
I
like
feel
the
like we
straight
have to.
to?
All of them. The Book
I'll
of
stand
Love
by
included.
Bandcamp, but all the other ones were not the great. I'll stand by Bandcamp.
Well, because it was the first spinoff from it, man. It's the
Yeah,
first
and
spinoff.
The dude that played Stifler's younger brother actually looked like Stifler.
Yeah.
They look like they could be brothers.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I had as far as what didn't work for me.
Boys,
Now, having said that,
we are
what
rating it.
is your out of 10 rating?
Whew. Okay, so in my mind, this is I think where it's gonna start. Like we've been pretty close to being even. At least on the tier maker, I think we're almost spot on
Yeah.
the same, which is kind of nice. I wasn't expecting that. I don't know why,
Well,
but I feel like this one for me kind of falls into the same category as kind of like Annabelle Comes Home, where not the
ooh.
strongest, right? I would say it's still slightly better. Um, but I don't think it's better than Annabelle Creation.
Okay.
So, and I gave Annabelle Creation a 7.5 out of 10, and I think I gave Annabelle Comes Home a 5.5. So I'm gonna be somewhere in the middle. And again, as much as I said in the what didn't work for me, I still think there's a lot to enjoy in this film. And again, it's a good watch. And if you're a fan of the franchise, you're most likely gonna enjoy this one. I don't think you'll necessarily enjoy it as much as the first two. And if you do, well, that's you. Um, so I don't know if I'm kind of leaning towards 6.5 out of 10. I could make anyone can make a case just to give it a solid 6, which still pretty good, but I still think it's a touch above just above average. I think 6 out of 10 is above average for me. So I think 6.5 is kind of a touch above that. So I'm going to go 6.5.
All right. 6.5 out of 10. This is where things are going to get really interesting. So, this one felt very TV movie. This had a
Yeah.
TV movie feel to it. This is like, oh, you're a big fan of The Conjuring. Well, catch the sequel that wasn't good enough to be in theaters tonight at 7 on Fox. Like, The Conjuring, the devil made me do it, and this is it's sort of like that Adam's Family reunion movie with Daryl Hannah as Morticia.
Oh God, yeah.
That's the feel that this has to it. Like you said, it's the acting is decent enough, but the story is not compelling.
No.
And I realized something as we were discussing this. The first time I saw this was in theaters. I fell asleep during the murder scene. Like I was like fading in and out, like I was real tired, and I remember falling asleep when it like immediately cuts to like the beginning of it when it shows like the exterior of the dog kennel house that they live in, and that whole scene starts. I fell asleep right there, and then I woke up when it was running towards him, and he's like ah, and he's like stabbing, and that's when I woke
Yeah.
up. I was like, wow, I missed that entire scene. Funny enough, when I was rewatching this, I fell asleep towards the end, and I rewatched it, and it's just boring.
Yeah.
There's just nothing here, and like I said, what you said earlier about had this been through the lens of a courtroom drama first and foremost, that I was already like putting it all together in my head because I love courtroom dramas. A Time to Kill, A Few Good Men. I didn't realize till now that both of those movies start with A. um, but yeah, The Rainmaker. Like they're really good courtroom drama movies that are super compelling like that. And I feel like that really could have been The Exorcism of Emily Rose, one that doesn't begin
Yeah.
with A, but it's at least compelling enough to draw you into the story and be like, huh, like I don't know, that's a good way of looking at it. But I don't know, like this one, like you said, it feels so all over the place, and especially the story, like as it's getting towards the end, it's like, oh my god, we forgot about Arnie.
Yeah. He kind of just became second subplot to it.
Yeah, like he opens up with it, and it's like, okay, like here's the opening thing, and I don't know, even the opening scene feels kind of rushed. Like it just feels like it's sort of like, yeah, let's get to it, but even the stuff feels kind of cliche horror.
Oh yeah.
Like the bathtub, like all of that, like it didn't feel like there was anything. Like you said, the presence of James Wan is not
Yeah.
felt in here, like because you know that he would have done something creepy. Like this might be cliche, but I'm gonna put a twist on it, and you're gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh dang, like that's pretty cool. Like again, The Conjuring 2, the office scene with the nun walking through with the shadow, lining up
Yep.
with it, grabbing the portrait and running out. Like
Yeah.
that's a cool thought. That's a cool idea for a scene. This is more like, oh, yeah, I might have seen this somewhere before. I don't remember where, but it feels very familiar. And that's what this movie feels like. It just feels like we just hit every horror beat that we could. And it didn't do anything to push the franchise further. But with that being said, I'm giving this a 4.5 out of 10.
Okay.
I don't feel like it was as good as Annabelle Creation, but it's closer to Annabelle Comes Home, in my opinion. And again,
Yeah.
very similar to what I said in that one. It just feels like a spin-off for the
Yeah.
Warrens. Like this doesn't feel like a continuation. It feels like side quest, the movie.
It feels
But
like I would say you can even go further when when they get kind of deep into a franchise and they want to keep making them, but they can't afford the main cast, and then they kind of create a movie with they continue the franchise but they recast. Like this is kind of the plot that they would use to when they recast the Warrens. You know what I mean?
yes, like I was saying earlier, with Daryl Hannah
Yeah.
and Adam's
Yeah,
Family
yeah, yeah.
reunion, like it's that feeling, and that was also put on TV a lot. It's like, oh hey, TV movie of the week,
Yeah,
and
I was gonna throw out the Mummy. What is it? The one with Jet Li. But I mean, Brendan Fraser still
uh,
came back. But it
Tomb of the
kind of like
Dragon
in that
Emperor.
yeah, kind of like in that same line where it's like we threw together something because we wanted to make more money, and yeah, it's like they were like at least Brendan Fraser was still under contract,
Yes, at least. But
but
oh god, couldn't he
yeah,
even he couldn't save that movie.
no.
Him or John Hannah. Oh. But I digress. So we have made it to the end, so you know what time that is. It is time for the tier
Tiermaker.
list. Scroll back up. So, Roberts, where does The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It rank for you?
It's this one right here. I do like the poster though. It's pretty good. I don't like the scribble right here, but I like the cross on her face. Um, so I mean, I did rate it in between Annabelle here and Annabelle Creation and Annabelle Comes Home, but which end is it more on, in my opinion? Um, man, this one's tough. It's either gonna go here or here, but how badly do I want to rate it? Hmm, I think for me, it leans more toward top of C tier.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fair.
it pains me because I hate to do that to the main two, but I don't know. I just I feel like that's even fair for that movie personally.
Yeah. So, this one's a hard one for me as well because it's definitely better than The Nun. But is it better than Annabelle Creation? Or Annabelle
Or
Creation.
Annabelle Comes
Annabelle
Home.
Comes Home. See? Subtitles.
Yeah,
Like
I
stop.
did it.
Stop with these
I
subtitles.
I did it too. Or at least don't begin both of them with the letter C.
Dude, for real. For
And
real.
don't create a prequel, then a sequel to a prequel movie.
So this one I'm like,
This franchise needs an exorcist after this.
oh my god, for real. There's the tagline right there. All honesty, I feel like this movie does more damage to the Warrens as characters. So I'm actually gonna put it in D tier, but I'm gonna put it above the Nun
Both.
because
Okay.
especially after we had what we talked about with Annabelle Comes Home, there's at least stuff that I liked more in that movie, and I was a little more forgiving, and I gave that one a 5
Yeah.
um, for that. So, like I
Yeah, I'm
said,
not gonna
it's
lie.
just
I think when you were going through your thing, I did downgrade mine to a 6. I don't know why. I was leaning towards 6.5 because I was just like I wanted to give Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga that extra bump, but I mean I think they brought the movie up from a 5.5 to a 6.
yeah, and again, like they do it because they're so freaking locked in with these characters
Yeah.
and their chemistry, man. The chemistry between the two of them with this, you buy it. And that's the
Yep.
only way that this works and has been as successful as it is because you're rooting for them. You want them to win. You want them to figure it out and overcome that evil, but they're only as strong as the material that they're given, and the material did not show up for this one.
No.
Again, the actors, the secondary characters, they're serviceable and they do great jobs, but the story's not there. And it's
Yeah.
just like I said, you sold me on a better story. That had we got that, it probably could be up there with Annabelle Creation, to where it's like, oh
Yeah.
dang, like that was a real pivot right there. That sold me. But
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna change up the franchise, like and move away from the haunted house atmospheric type thing, I mean, change it up.
yeah,
Change, like, go for it. Throw a curveball in there.
yeah, but put some care and attention into it to honor these characters. But aside from that, I don't have anything else to say on Conjuring. The devil made me do it. What about you?
Nope.
Awesome. Well, y'all, thank you so much for watching. We greatly appreciate it as always. We are almost at the end of our journey of
Almost
the
done.
Conjuring universe. Yes. So, Again, thank y'all so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, get in on the conversation with us, as Robert always says, by getting down in the comments. We want to hear from you. What do you think about The Conjuring The Devil Made Me Do It? Is this a step in the right direction for the franchise? Do you feel like, no, burn this, I never want to see it again, burn it with the first Nun movie? Or do you think, you know what, I'm just done with the series altogether? Regardless of that, we want to hear from you. And especially after Robert's idea on a courtroom drama, what do you think about that? Would that have made this, taken this franchise into a whole nother level? Get in the comments. We want to hear from y'all. And Robert, would you like to let them know about those other projects we have and possibly tease the next entry?
Yes. So if you've been following along with this one, then you know we've have a bunch of other Conjuring universe movies. Feel free to watch that entire ranked series up until now. After this one, we will be doing The Nun 2, which I have seen but need to rewatch. So I will be doing that here in a bit before we record that one. But yes, we have a bunch of other trailer reactions. We got movies, video games, TV shows. We even have some user requests. Those were a lot of fun. So if you have something you want us to maybe react to, go ahead, drop it in the comments. We will take a look, and more often, we will probably react to it. Stuff like that kind of opens up and broadens our horizons. And, we look forward to that because um, we get kind of a taste of what you all are into. So, if that's what you want us to do, we'll, take a look at it. But other than that, we have our other ranked series. We got Superman Mission Impossible. If you're enjoying this one, stay tuned. We might be teasing the next ranked series soon. We don't know. We're still discussing it. But yeah, feel free to watch, like, comment, subscribe.
Awesome. Thank you, Robert, as always. Much appreciated. And thank y'all so much for watching. Catch you in the next one.